Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. I am here live again. Good to have us back. Chet Perry, 3384 in the building. They say they got him on tape. Doesn't look good. No, none of it looks good, man, with a Gervonta, with domestic violence. None of that's good, man. They got him on tape from all the other times too. Well, not the time at the house, but if they were smart, don't everybody got video now, cameras, especially a house as big as Gervonta? You think he doesn't have surveillance? They could have pulled that too, but I'm glad they didn't press that issue because they could have got him that way. Looking forward to this live, Kurt. I always felt that brother was showing early signs of head trauma, CTE. Chet Perry, you know what? I was going to say that, and you beat me to it. Chet, you beat me to it because if you listen to Gervonta Tank Davis and you hear how he talks, go back and listen to how he used to talk. I mean, he hasn't been the most articulate person, sure, but he still has like this kind of, I just want to say, I just want, and I'm like, that may be his signs of brain damage. Bill Keaveney, what's up, brother? Let's go, champ. Bryce Productions. I want to see Tank versus Haney. The only way you see Tank versus Haney is in the pen. Because, I mean, those are some serious charges. I mean, kidnapping, people don't play about that in the USA. They don't play about that at all in the USA. If you are in any position, that's a graduating charge. When you kidnapping, you can forget about it. And this is someone that he knew. So I don't think this was like his child's mom or nothing like that. This is just someone that he hooked up with, That being said, man, if your career involves getting punched in the head and you do it long enough, you are going to have head trauma. Yeah, and then keep in mind, I don't want to say that people are, better than others. I just think people show signs faster than others depending on who you are. Sometimes you can't take a lot of shots. Look at Mildred Taylor. Mildred Taylor showed signs early. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it with Moses Atoma. I just don't see it. I don't see him getting all bent out of shape over, I don't see people looking at him like that. I just don't see him as a damaged person. Skrilla 50 in the building. King Skrilla in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. So let's break it down. Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's look it up. Let's ask why are they looking for Gervonta Tank Davis?
Gervonta Tank Davis is wanted by police for an arrest warrant. It's related to an alleged domestic violence incident in October 2025, which involved battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. Police used surveillance footage.
Well, I mean, how old is Gervonta? 30? Moses has a better protection plan than the Secret Service. He's far from punch drunk. Yeah, I mean, hey man, I've just finished 5 or 6 videos, and I had to hit the hay for a bit, and I was tired. So um, I think Gervonta, man, has been in enough problems. I think he's made enough money. If he's suffering signs of CTE, this may be the case. And for all we know, man, Gervonta could end up like Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he's from that area, man. I'm matter of fact, a friend of mine, he tipped me on the. You guys ever heard of The Wire? I'm watching The Wire right now. I've been watching it for a couple months. It's just takes me a while because you fall asleep and you wake up and then you pick up on the parts that you miss. So I've been saying that. I've been seeing that, and he's from that area. That's a rough area of of town. I remember Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was like, "Oh, he ain't knocking out heavyweights. He ain't knocking out heavyweights." Where he from? Oh, he from Baltimore. He said he knocked out a crackhead. Where he from? He said he from Baltimore. He says, "You know how many crackheads in Baltimore, man? Come on, man. Yeah." Ask Siri, how many years can you get for all those charges? That's a good question. How many years is Gervonta facing if he's guilty of the charges that he is charged with?
It's unclear which Gervonta you're asking about. Gervonta Williams received at least 12 years for involuntary manslaughter, while Gervonta Keon Whitfield got nearly 5 years for firearm possession. If you mean Gervonta Davis, his sentences vary depending on the case.
Not very smart. He just doesn't fight enough. I'm from Baltimore, so I know all about The Wire. Nice. I've never been to Baltimore. Um, However, I've dated a few chicks from that area. And all but one wasn't crazy, wasn't nuts. I mean, they was just wild, man. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, but throwed off, throwed off. Um, wow. I'll actually do a video about that on my other channel. The love from Baltimore. Come on, hit that like button. Kurt likes his lady's hood. No, not really. That's not true at all. Tank, tank, tank. And in fact, I mean, the older I get, the more I want someone like, I want them I want them nice, but then like I've dated girls that were just very, very delicate, and then it's kind of like, well, if something pops off and it involves a bunch of people, you're the only one that's going to be fighting. They may be getting their ass whooped if you, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I do want somebody that does know how to fight, that will punch someone in the face. So, yeah. Guys, here's some tank, tank, tank. Man, well, I mean, you know what? One was from Baltimore, one was from North Carolina, and the other one was from. Damn. Was that part of Baltimore? I believe Raleigh, Raleigh, North Carolina. One was from Baltimore. One was from Baltimore, and the other one was from some part of North Carolina. But she lived in Newport News, Virginia, right? So is that's the same area, right? It's all kind of like the same area. Like down here, people you say the Arklatex, like in like New England. New England is a lot of people say, well, what I live in New England. That's not saying much. That's like saying you're living an area, but you're not telling us exactly where you stay. I think that's called. I used to work in at a call center, and it's like Del Mar or something like that. Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, right? Something like that. I know some dudes that can't leave that hood cat alone. DMV. Yeah, DMV. Okay. Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Okay. Gotcha. The DMV area. I knew it was something like that. Like here, the Arklatex. When you hear the Arklatex, you're like, what the hell is that? So you could be from, let's say, Washington, D.C. You would know what the hell that was. Tank Davis don't know what to do with himself. Well, he may be suffering signs of CTE. It doesn't really matter what he's suffering from. He's going to suffer the consequences when they catch him. And if he's convicted and he's looking at 10, 15 years and there's no way around it, if I was Tank Davis, people, I would take my money, my assets, and I would get out of Dodge. I would go to France but I don't think he's problem with Gervonta. He can't blend in. You're going to see someone like that. He's small. He has 358,000 tats. You know what I mean? He won't be able to. You know what I mean? He's not. If Gervonta didn't have all those tattoos, he could get a haircut and go and live in Dominican Republic forever. Because he looks like a little Dominican or something like that. That's what he looks like. Or he could go to Brazil. He can go to one of these brown countries and just live. DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Gotcha. It's DC. Okay, not Delaware. Why was I thinking Delaware? I got an uncle that lives in Delaware. Okay. But yeah, I would if I was Davis, man. At this point, I know I don't want to fight again. He don't fight a lot anyway. He passed on that Jake Paul fight, which would have made him millions. So if Davis has a lot of money in the bank, someone hood like that, that's really, if you think about Gervonta, you think about it like this: a guy that comes from the hood, he gets introduced to Floyd, Money Mayweather. He starts fighting, and he's a very talented fighter. He makes a lot of money pretty much fighting people that Floyd wants him to fight. Floyd lives vicariously through him. Floyd makes him rich. Floyd gets him into, he moves his mom and all that out of that area. So it's no really need to go back to the hood. Then he makes some more money. He has a couple kids, and then what? Like, there's nothing that Gervonta wants, and I think because he's already got everything, he's probably on self destruct. Yeah, he's probably on self destruct. He said Uncle C lives in Delaware. That's 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes away. No, no, no. Uncle C lives in Louisiana. He's not from. I don't think he ever been to. I don't think he's ever been to Delaware, right? I mean, I never asked him, but no. Skrilla, if that's true, Triple D won't suffer with CTE. Davis was way too small for Jake Paul. It don't matter. Hell, I'd fight a big ass dude for $50 million. Think about it, or whatever he was going to get. I don't know how much of the money was, but it was going to be in the millions. Mama Lou, Tank Davis is almost as dumb as Triple D. I think Tank has a problem with. I think he has a real problem. You know what I'm saying? I think he has a real problem. I think Tank. He has a problem with authority. Um, and really, he was probably raised in the wrong age. See, man, you guys know how common that was for a guy to beat up his wife in the 50s? You know what I mean? And I mean, that's not even a color thing. That's like a man and woman, that's a gender thing. Because there was no, oh, only black guys did it, or only Hispanics did it, or only, you know, white people did. No, they all did the same shit. They would have them some other family across town or some girlfriend across town, and or if they didn't have that, which that was common, right? If they didn't have that, they had um, a saloon or a bar that they went to. Yeah, I said a bar. They went to a bar and they got shit faced, and they would come home drunk, smelling of whiskey, and they're mad about something that they've got brewing in their mind, sitting at the bar on the stool, listening to Ernie talk about his wife and his kids, or his cousin, or his uncle, or something that happened with his father, some shit, some bar talk. He was a kid when that shit happened. Hey, give us me a wine and another beer for him. You know, and then he comes home and beats his wife up. I mean, that was so common. Get full of that alcohol and come home and well on your girl or your wife or your old lady. He has a genuine mental health problem. Well, no. I mean, but here's the thing: he's hiding out, right? They haven't caught him, so that meant he's got whim. He has whim of someone knowing, hey, bro, they're looking for you. And Gervonta's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. They're looking for him, and obviously he don't want to be found, right? So if he doesn't want to be found, then there you go. I do think that it's a he needs to be planning something. If I'm Devontae, bro, run. If you go into prison, run. See, because I don't know the particulars. You know what I mean? They say attempted kidnapping? Did he hold someone hostage? Did he do some crazy shit like that? Because if he did, he's going to jail. There's no pass go. He's going straight to jail. Same story over here, Kurt. It was as acceptable as drunk driving back in the day. Yeah, like drunk driving, bro. You know what I mean? People used to drive home drunk, crash their cars, all in the. The shit had to stop, though. I don't think it's good, but then it's bad. You know what I mean? I think there's always people that use excessive force, and me talking about that hits home. And again, I'll talk about that on another channel. But yeah, man, I like drinking and driving. That shit's real, and they will pull you over. They have a saying, I think it's in Texas, you drive sober or you get pulled over. The shittiest bar I ever heard in my life. Shit, Tank likes hitting women in shields wanting to fight a man. Book it. She wouldn't beat Tank. I wouldn't want to see that fight. Tank would beat the shit out of shit because I mean he already likes beating women, but then she just because she likes to fight men and because she's masculine and all that doesn't mean you should make it. No, Tank would destroy Clarissa Shields. It would be bad, He could probably take it easy on her, but I don't think that's Tank. As soon as she hits Tank, Tank is going to get red like a lobster. and he's gonna beat the hell out of her. He's gonna look like one of those samurai showdown characters. He's gonna get pissed. He's gonna beat her up, and it's gonna be a sad thing to watch. I remember when Lucia Riker. I used to have a big crush on Lucia when she was younger. I mean, I don't know how she looks now, but I thought she was hot. But the crazy thing is, like, she gets knocked out by a Thai boxer. So, damn, you fought a Thai boxer and got laid out. I think he hit her with a roundhouse. And man, I can't remember. It's been years ago since I've seen the footage. You just can't do what he has done and just accept it all. Tank, run, flee. Don't hide. The problem is people go hiding. He just needs to leave. He just needs to leave. He needs to leave and don't come back. He got enough money. If he got 10, 15 million in the bank, he can buy him a house. He already talked about buying an island somewhere. And I'm like, yo, you need to do that. But, you know, but yeah, I mean, but more than likely, U.S. Marshals, they gonna bring him to justice. Them boys don't play. They don't play. They check every possible exit imaginable. You'll be surprised. Like, dude, I'm gonna tell you, like, who's looking for him now? The U.S. Marshals. Look at U.S. Marshals, the movie, and then look at The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. Both with Tommy Lee Jones. One was with Harrison Ford, and the other one was with Wesley Snipes. I'll watch that fight. I'll watch the fight. I'll watch that movie now if it comes on. He should have a bar chat with Small John. Huh. No. John will have him coming home and beating everybody up. Hey, Gervonta, you need to fight. Slap him, headbutt him. That's what I do, Gervonta. Shave your head bald and headbutt him. It's clean. It's clean. Lobster Boy Davis. Yeah, he gonna get mad. He gonna get red because when soon as she hits him, when she does that, then she's gonna hit him and he's gonna get pissed off. And he gonna say, you fucked up now. And then he gonna beat her. He gonna beat her up. You know. That Tank reminds me of John Jones, always in trouble with the law. John, though, John has more problems. I don't even think he has problems with the law per se. He has problems with just the way he lives his life in accordance to the things that he does. And then, like, John, in other words, John does things to harm himself or could possibly harm himself, like cocaine and bikes and, crashes and stuff like that. And Gervonta was involved in that. Remember, he was in one of those high-speed chase crashes where it was a hit-and-run situation, and he left the scene of the crime. You remember that, right? I mean, Gervonta's been in some shit over the years. The 2 incidents with the chicks, now the last one. So 3 chick incidents and that hit and run. Anything else? Tank will be found in a hut in Africa. Mud hut. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, he could do that, but Brazil now, because I think it starts in March, or was it March of last year? I think it was March of last year. He couldn't go to Brazil because you need a visa to go there, because they reopened that again, and my Brazilian visa has just expired. Every evening, Kurt, I'm still waiting for your message. You had something to tell me. That's right. I did think about that the other day. I did think about that. I was driving though. I said, you know what? I'm supposed to hit her up. I'm going to tell you. It's crazy. I'm going to tell you. I'm glad you reminded me. I'm disappointed with Tank. Yeah. Yeah. Tank, man, I mean, you can take someone out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. You ever heard that saying? That's Tank. Tank probably been doing that on a small scale. But then, he's learning himself. He's learning, but then this is a person that his timeline was changed by success. You know, it won't change his character. It won't change the fact that, yo, you like to beat on women, which sucks. You like to beat up on women, that's just him. You know what I mean? Had he still been in Baltimore selling drugs or whatever, he still would have beat some chicks up, probably. You know what I'm saying? Probably looking the same way he looks now, same tats, probably a couple bullet holes from near death shootouts and drive-bys. That would be Tank. You wouldn't know who he is. People that would know who he is the most would be Maryland PD or some task force that's constantly surveillancing him and his crew of his corner boys where he conducts business. He had Wilder talking about the woman they slapped. At this point, Shakur versus Tank ain't never happening. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen anyway. People don't feel sorry for Tank. And certainly don't feel sorry for Tank because you expect him to fight. You don't know what he was going to do. In fact, this is just him being, or, his career is wasted anyway. He don't want to go back to 140. He doesn't want to challenge himself. He just wants to really sucker the public like us to watch his bullshit fights. You know what I mean? He got whooped by Roach, and like he didn't, what happened? How many years will they give him? I don't know. I asked AI and she talked stupid to me. So no one feels sorry for Tank. Well, he's going to get some time. I definitely don't feel sorry for him at all. Beating up on women and trying to kidnap him and stuff like that. Well, don't worry. I mean, in prison, he's going to run into a lot of stuff. You know what's going to happen to him in prison? He's going to get a boyfriend. He's going to get fat. You're going to see Tank, if he gets 3 years, you'll see Tank come out of prison. And then Tank will probably, his face will be this damn big. It'll be this wide. Because we've seen it wide like that before. Because he's short. He's like 5'5". You know what I mean? It's hard to feel sorry for millionaires that beat up his women. I mean, for millionaires, rich people to do anything stupid like that. I mean, just because you're rich don't mean you're invincible. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to do whenever you feel like it. And that's the problem. Tank Davis is a bully of women that sucks. Because it's almost like, what are you, transgender? You're wearing purses. You're putting on makeup. You got shit on your nails. Didn't he have his nails painted at one point? Skinny jeans. And he's done a lot of feminine stuff. And in that whole movement, I'm totally against anyway. Because when you talk about, especially when it comes to people using the transgender movement as a way to beat up on women, that's what I mean. Like, I don't care what you do, but you're talking to someone that has daughters. I don't have any sons that I know of. I might have one out there somewhere, right? But if you have a daughter that plays sports, right? Would you feel comfortable with your daughter competing, especially against like karate, kickboxing, boxing, running? Would you feel comfortable with your daughter up against a boy that's pretending to be a girl? That's what that like a transgender girl. No, I wouldn't. That was at Asana with the purse and the nails. No, Tank had a purse too. Tank had a purse on. He had one of them, but they call purses every. I remember a guy at the airport and he said, "Can you drop your purse?" I'm like, "Bitch, who you talking to? I ain't got no damn purse, And I got back, I gave that shit to my daughter. Rich or poor, don't put your hands on any one woman with when you come from one. That's true. I remember when he was clean cut and soft spoken, he turned into thug life. Now, I think a lot of times they just played, for the cameras, you know? Your son is in Brazil, King Kurt. So you, Thiago Deville, you know? They saying they got him on tape wilding out. Well, they got him. And they got him on tape. There's nothing he can fight. They could probably drop charges, plea deal, stuff like that. But he'll go. He's going to get some time because he's been there before. Matter of fact, he's been in the state of Florida before, like that. So yeah, this is a repeated pattern. Tank Davis is going to jail. He is going to jail. Period. He's going to jail. Hey, Kurt and Chad, I hope everyone is good. Who you got? T.O. Shakur. Dark Side of the Moon. I got Shakur Stevenson. I'm rocking with Shakur on this one. I'm not going with T.O. I'm mad at T.O. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? You go from T.O. went from slapping Barbosa. Remember he slapped Barbosa? Slapped the shit out of Barbosa, didn't he? To this, you know? T.O. is a disappointment. He is disappointing. I think he let things get in the way or whatever. He's still very talented though. T.O.'s a very talented fighter, but whatever. But Davis, yeah, sometimes you let your personal life destroy your professional life. He's rich, he has money, and like at this point, like you ain't tired of going to jail. He was locked up not too long ago, wasn't he? I have a sister, and I had to sort out a couple of nasty boyfriends had to be done. Yeah. If his got any decent bone, if he has any decent bone in his body, he needs to hand himself in. Well, I mean, he's done that before, but I think now since you haven't seen him, if okay, people, this is what I'm gonna say to this because I mean, I'm not gonna make this too long. If Tank don't turn himself in by today, he's trying to get out of the country. And yeah, he has a passport. I think I think they've caught Gervonta in France and stuff like that. So yeah, he's familiar with getting out of the country. I mean, you would have too much money not to do that. Some people you surprised, bro. You got millionaires that's never left the country of the USA, and it's sad. You know, they might as well be in Cuba. hmm Louisiana's like that too. There's a lot of people in Louisiana that some of them have never left Louisiana, and a lot of them have never lived anywhere else but Louisiana. So Louisiana is like one of those places that the mindset, man, they don't want to go nowhere else. They don't want to live nowhere else. They may visit, but they ain't going nowhere. They're going to die. They're going to be born and die in Louisiana. And that's like Louisiana has the highest population of people that live and die in Louisiana. Born in Lafayette, died in Lafayette. Born in Shreveport, died in Shreveport. Born in New Orleans, died in New Orleans. It's crazy. That's why I think, the whole Katrina thing was so big because that was something that would have never happened. So you meet someone from New Orleans, you know, Somebody that talks a little funny, may look Puerto Rican, but talk like he's from Algiers. He's more than likely from New Orleans. You know? A lot of Americans don't travel outside of America. That's true. No escape. Muhammad Ali get Ali get to jail and become world champion after that, so Davis will be stronger after jail. I don't know. Meanwhile, Tio is still jealous of the well and deserved respect Crawford gets, in my opinion. You know, he tried to fight Terrence Crawford. You know, and if I'm Terrence, you know what I would have done? I would have fought Tio and beat the shit out of him. But then again, I think Crawford started. You know, after he beat Errol, he had no other desire to fight all these other guys. You know why? Because he had to do that. He had to do that for a long time, especially at 147. Think about the fights that he had. Let's look up Terrence for uh, Terrence Crawford's resume. Okay, so let us look at his record. All right. Now, you look at the people that he fought from 2018. He fought Jeff Horn, which was an undefeated fighter. He knocked him out. He fought Jose Benavidez, big brother of David Benavidez. He fought him, knocked him out in the 12th round. Now, both of those guys were undefeated. Jeff Horn was 33-0. Jose Benavidez was 34-0, I think. Or was that his record? Not sure. I think that was his record. Then he fought Amir Khan, right? Then he fought Kavalauskas, Mean Machine. Now, 3 out of 4 of those fighters were undefeated. Julius Ndongo was at 140, but that was for unification, so that was warranted. But all these other fights here, he got the WBO from Jeff Horn, then defended it against Jose Benavidez, then Amir Khan. Amir Khan quit. The first time Amir Khan's ever done that. Mean Machine, he beat Mean Machine. Then he fought Kell Brook, then Sean Porter, then David Avanesian, then Errol Spence. So you look at all these fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He fought 6 fights before even touching the PBC. Because he did eventually get the Sean Porter fight, which he found out he was down on the scorecards and he knocked or made the fight end. Took control of the fight just like that. So, I mean, it's safe to say he was carrying him. Guys, here's some. Appreciate the super chat, my brother. Watch Zoo versus Zarafa tonight. 3 heavyweight fights also. Nice. Kell Brook talks like he swallowed a kazoo. Yeah, that's the way Calm down, Skrilla. We all know Davis is nowhere near as good as the GOAT. Bill Keaveney. Roy Jones Jr. gives his view on Tank Davis. Here's Roy Jones. Well, first of all, I knew what I had my personal life. I had 2 twins with 2 women, so I know how it is. Some of these girls get physical. Some of them try to force your hand because they know you're a fighter. You understand me? So, a lot of times you have to dumb yourself down because you have to know that sometimes they can be setting you up for a trap. So Tank, he got a bad temper. He young, he hot-headed, and I think because of his environment, he feels that, he don't have to take it. But sometimes you got to take it if you're the stronger person. If you ain't the stronger person, you ain't going to take it. So it just shows, really, it don't show how strong you are. It shows how weak you are. It shows how short-tempered you are. And I do think that really at the end of the day, Tank Davis, he probably ain't did what is bad, but sometimes you lose it, and I think he did that. So when he do that, you got to suffer the consequences. Because Roy Jones Jr. don't have to slap nobody. Because even if a girl haul off and slap me, she ain't gonna do it again. I'm gonna defend myself, but it's gonna be in a way that I don't have to show my full strength. because you can't show your full strength to some people because they're gonna take it as a weakness and they're gonna take it to the police. And that's what she did. She took it to the police. She might want some money, so you might need to pay her. To pay her, you can stay out of the clink. If you get in the clink, you don't know what else going on. All your business is gone. All your money gone. Somebody gonna take your money. They're gonna try to run with it. You don't know family members. As soon as they get control of your stuff, you see, they may take it away from the bank. Then they spend it. Then you get out and you tank. Then you stank and you ain't got nothing. You ain't know what to think. So really, I do think he needs to turn himself in for the cops shoot the shit out of him. Because if the cops catch him, he gonna be another thug to him now. He just got money, and they don't care how it is now. You see ICE and everything. They picking up people, slapping them, shooting them, killing them. They don't care no more. So Tank could be just right with the flow. So I do think at the end of the day, he needs to turn himself in anyway, because he can't run forever. They gonna see him. He stick out like a sore thumb. He stick out like a cuckabug in a tree. They gonna see him. That's all that's gonna happen. He needs to turn himself in, get him a good lawyer, and wish for the best. That's Roy Jones Jr. Counterpunch. I love your impersonations, Kurt. Thank you, Nikki Blue Eyes. Kurt Philippe Ergovic is hilarious. Yeah, he is. Roy Jones Jr. speaks and talks fast. He does. Roy Jones, man. Roy Jones. Andy Ruiz impression is number one. All right, look. Let me give you guys one. This is Andy and his take on Tank. I really like Tank. I just think he's innocent. I think a lot of these chicks, they play with us. Like my girl, she tried to burn me. She got me called. She put pictures on my Instagram of me having weed. I wanted to slap her so hard, and I wanted to catch her. I would have beat her up that day. I would have. I would have gave her to her. I would have slapped her because she tried to bury me. She'd seen me with my IV and my weed. Some of these chicks, they're so vindictive. Damn. So I feel bad for Tank. You feel bad. Wait, is that on? Hey, cut that off, man. It's not fair. Give me that. Caught him talking his mind. Tyson also, and up in jail and become stronger after Tank will be okay after. Mike Tyson wasn't stronger when he left jail. He was bigger, but he wasn't better. Because he came out massive. Mike Tyson looked like a pit bull because he looked like a pit bull that was genetically modified. Like Mike was always like short and cut, but he wasn't really wide. He was cut and he was short, but he was quick. When he went to prison, he gained a massive amount of weight. His neck was like, but Mike, really, man, Mike Tyson, he just was bigger. Now, did that add more punching power? I'm not really sure. Because he already had that. And I think a lot of times people add this muscle and they think that's going to give them edge. I'm not sure. Mike Tyson was hanging around with the real ass tigers out there like he was a beast. Kurt, do you think Atoma faked the injury? I'm not sure. I do question though. Did Moses fake the injury? I don't want to call him a liar, but I will say this: whenever, I want people to understand this too. Whenever you see specifics withheld, always get suspicious. Always. Whenever you see something like that, when you see, hey, so-and-so pulled out for an injury, that's too generic. That's not specific enough to say, what the hell? What type of injury? What are you talking about? What are you really on? What type of injury are we referring to? You know what I mean? Like, this is a real injury report. Hey, man, Tyson Fury injured his elbow, or Artur Beterbiev injured his knee. Because those things are reported. If they just say, oh, man, it's an injury, it's almost like it came right from PR. that that was the case. Kurt, I heard talks about Moses Atoma versus Derek Chisora. Derek ain't fighting Moses unless they pay him. I think Derek will fight anybody, but you have to pay him. You have to pay Derek that damn money if you want Derek to throw down. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all you have. But if they're not trying to pay him 5 million, 6 million, they ain't putting him in there. And all they're doing, they're paying for a name. So it's up to Frank. Is Derek Chisora's name worth that amount of money that Derek's asking for? Because he don't have anything to offer, really, but reputation, the name, just the namesake, nothing else. Nothing else would matter. He ain't got no title. You know what I'm saying? Paula Malignaggi impression about Tank. All right, here's Paulie. Donations are appreciated. Let me see where's Paulie. Paulie reminds me of I think Paulie does coke. Tank Davis. First of all, I think Tank Davis is a piece of shit. You don't hit on women. You don't touch women. You don't do nothing with women. I remember my dad used to whip my mom. She used to whip my mom. And I said, when I get old enough, I'm going to whip his ass. And that's exactly what I did. So whenever I see signs of that, I'm going to whip. I just lose it. Tank is a piece of shit. He's a boxer. He has hands. It should be registered legal weapons anyway. So at the end of the day, I think that motherfucker should get locked up. If they need to shoot him. Because that motherfucker, he thinks he's above the law. He thinks he's like a little Mike Tyson. And I think at the end of the day, that motherfucker should go to jail. He should go to jail. He should get under the jail. You know what I mean? And then he can get in there with people that can show him what a real man is. You know what I mean? I don't like that shit. I think it's bullshit. I think Tank Davis, he always slapping bitches up. They gave him a break. They gave him another break. Well, how many breaks you gonna give this guy? How many breaks you gonna give him? How many breaks you gonna give him before you find out, before he kills somebody? Then maybe, just maybe, if you lock him up and you catch him, you throw away the fucking key, he won't have nothing else bad to do with another woman again. That's what we need to do. We need to, look, zero tolerance for women beaters. Give him a women beater. Zero tolerance for women beaters. That's what I say. Boom. Paula Malignaggi on Tank Davis. Do an Amir Khan impression. Amir Khan. What the fuck does he sound like? I haven't heard him in a long time. How are you so good with these golf? Do a backflip. A black backflip. I ain't doing no damn backflip. Derek wants a big retirement check. I mean, yeah, based on how we know boxing, if you retire, you don't get no severance. You don't get none of that shit. You get exactly what you got. You don't get anything. The only thing you have is what you've already fought for. There is none of those sanctioned body twats are going to put anything together. And don't you find it strange? The WBO, the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, all of those, none of them, oh, he's retiring. Okay, hey, here's 400,000 for your retirement. None of them have anything set aside for any of these boxers. All they're doing is getting rich off the sake of these guys holding their belts. What does the belts mean? They're trinkets, they're trophies. That's all they mean. It's just they put value behind it by the fees, the sanctioning fees to hold the belt. That's all structured. That's all some made up bullshit. It's damn near like church. Don't want to go there. Derek Chisora needs to pass the medical test of the BBC first. The Fog Sellers, do you think that Ergovic will get the title shot this year? What could be his next fight? I mean, if it's Fabio Wardley, yeah, that's a title shot. But I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, though. It could be. But Ergovic, I'll say this because I've done about 2 videos about Ergovic. Because I did 5 before I went to sleep for about an hour, right? And I'll say this because I don't want to dip into that conversation of the content that I'm going to put out for Friday. Philip is putting himself in position to fight somebody. So he's doing his job. He's self promoting. Philippe Ergovic, Philip, we call him in America. He's putting himself in position. He's talking up, he's talking game. He's using whatever he can. Either it's Daniel Dubois, either it's Ajet Kabayel, Fabio Wardley, and Daniel Dubois. He's talking Tyson Fury. He's talking a lot about these fighters because he's putting his name out there. He's just throwing his name out there. So he's talking shit. He is talking shite. And he's doing that because he's fishing. He's wanting somebody to bite. And based on the last couple performances we've seen him in, the Danny Dubois fight and the Adelaide fight, at the end of the day, I see someone picking him as an opponent. But he's just making his name available, that he is available to fight somebody. So good for him. Jackson Man. Philip is going to pull off a very big upset. Mark my words, 100%. Counterpunch to you. Bershait Elohim 9471. Kurt, what's up? Counterpunch to you, brother. Everything's good. Everything's good. I think Danny Dubois and Hergovic should run it back. Losing on cuts is pretty shitty. Got a counterpunch coming soon to that comment. So, yeah. But I do agree. I do definitely agree. Skrilla50, he talked about that bloated beast Miller, too. I haven't heard him talk about Miller yet, but good fight. Ooh, good, very good fight. Philip Hergovic versus Miller would be a very good fight. And they could fight anywhere. They could fight in the UK. They could fight anywhere. Fight in the States. That fight should be in the States, actually. What you reckon Usyk's last 3 opponents will be, as he said he has 3 fights left? Usyk's fights should be against the mandatories. I don't even think they should be against the champion. You know why? Because that gives Fabio Wardley the opportunity to make his own legacy, to start his own reign. See, if you only worry about a unification, I don't think it's time, because Fabio wasn't Danny Dubois. Danny Dubois had fought enough people, and he rebuilt his resume from his first loss to Usyk to really, in my opinion, gain the opportunity to fight Usyk again. Now, we all admit that Joseph Parker shit was wrong, but Joshua, Ergovic, Miller, yeah. Fabio should do the same. Fabio should worry about his own reign and own career and how well he does as he reigns and as he defends his title. Let's see how good he does. Let's see who he chooses. Let's see how his resume goes. And he looks hungry. He looks enthusiastic about the whole, champion position, right? Kurt, I disagree with you. Philip Hergovic is more skilled than Wardley. I mean, did I say anything different than that? Did you clear up the AJ video? It was old footage. I never seen the footage. I never seen it, and I'm like, because it was the video. You guys want me to do a video? I'll do a video of that. So I'll do that later on. I'll do that today, just because you guys want me to. Yeah, because I seen the comments, and I did pin a comment about that. Stop repeating the same thing. Hergovic ducked Sanchez. Yeah, he wasn't the only one though. Moses did. Effie did. Effie had fought him before. And Effie was like, nah, I don't think I want to fight somebody like that again. Let me go ahead and fight someone else. He said, don't bother. I heard that. Personally, I want to see Wardley Fury. I think Wardley stops this version of Fury. That's if Tyson wants it. Tyson gets what he wants, except for Usyk. And that's how it should be. Usyk beat you twice, brother. Find something else to do with your time. Find somebody else to play with. Strangeness, what's good, Kurt? Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Chisora should not be able to ever defeat Fabio Worley, especially now. Well, now you could always hit him and knock him out. I think Wardley is an industry plant after the Parker fight. Could be. you know. But I do think that, things were set in place in his favor for Parker to lose. And then that drug test was just too weird, which we still haven't heard anything from. You guys were there for the live stream of that, right? I'm surprised Fury wants to fight more. Dude lost to Richard Torres, same as Herndon. Wilder's opponent at this point gives Torres a shot. That wouldn't surprise me. This is Tyson Fury we're talking about. Do you really think Tyson Fury is going to come back into the sport and come in with a live dog? He didn't do it before. What makes you think he's going to do it again? What do you think Safari and Pianetta were? There were nobodies that he fought because they were nobodies. They were lambs to the slaughter to get him enticed enough for a real battle, because he knows eventually he's going to have to fight someone. Kurt, can you make a video that details the financial benefits due to several retiring boxers? Make a video that details the financial benefits due to several retiring boxers. Like who? Who does it benefit? Tyson said he wanted Wardley right up until Wardley said, "Come on, let's have it." You watching Lopez and Shakur? Yes, I'm watching Lopez and Shakur. No more like hot dogs. No, Fury is a guy that he's going to do what he wants to do. He will fight him. And I just know Fury at this point. He ain't going to fight nobody that we know. He's going to say a million things. And it's crazy. I used to do videos of all that shit. Now it's kind of like, meh, People get burnt out on the same shit. Tyson used to be popular. Usyk used to be hella popular. You guys tell me what you like. YouTube does what they want to do, but you guys come and you see a video. At some point you'll see, oh snap, let's look at that video, right? Kurt, who wins? Anthony Joshua versus Caballo? Probably Caballo, but Joshua? Did you say Anthony Joshua? Joshua's not fighting right now. Good point. Safari shouldn't have ever been sanctioned. He was. They gave him about 10 grand, maybe 20. How's 20,000 sound? And he came home with about 10 of that shit. And what's bad, he still had to pay taxes on $20,000. That's the crazy thing. People don't understand that about boxing. You make $1 million fight purse. Your promoter is going to take what, 20%, 30%, some shit like that. Then you got to pay the taxes on $1 million, which is crazy. Kurt, I'm going to love you and leave you. Time to eat my dinner. It's been a pleasure as always, and don't forget to. I won't. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, it's gonna be on the gram. I gotcha. Garibal, 26-3, 26-3, moron. Fury will still be hanging about in his 50s after 5,000 retirements. Yeah, he's just tired of the house. Tyson's tired of the house. Those were terrible fights. Fury has officially retired and came back 5 times. Yeah. the retirement king. So, you know, take what he says like a grain of salt. But back to Davis. Davis, he needs to turn himself in. I don't want anything bad to happen to him because he didn't kill anyone, so you don't want him shot and killed, but he does need to be brought to justice. But if I was Tank and I know that I'm fearful for my life or my freedom, this is what I would do if I was Tank before I jump off of here. You guys ready to hear it? Here it goes. You leave, go away, go for a few months. Within those few months, you get someone to contact, and this will be the problem. He gets someone, he contacts someone back home, or before he leaves, he contacts a person. He lets them know to relay the message to the person that he assaulted and whatever, and he offers her money. Basically, he pulls a ditty like, "Yo, I'm sorry," and see if she bites. She'll get the money when she drops the charges. Then I can come home, and then we can squash this. I'll make you rich, right? And I can come home and enjoy the rest of my, but then put it in paper, sign an NDA, and then she can go and say like, "Hey, I want to drop the charges or whatever." However, that's probably going to be hard to do because if they do have camera footage, you know what I mean? I don't think her dropping the charges would matter at this point either, because now the state picks that up at that point. So yeah, but Tank, if he's not going to fight anymore and he's going to retire, he needs to leave. You know what I mean? But that's my counterpunch. Tank's going to jail if he does turn himself in. It's best that he does that. Plea deals are accepted, and there you go. Yeah, state picks up the charges. Yeah, I mean they see that they're like, Tank Davis needs to drastically change his behavior. Yeah. What he could do though, he could agree to go to like anger management or something like that. That could help him. Hopefully they could reduce the charges. All that shit's better than jail, right? House arrest is an option, for him. Stuff like I think he was on house arrest before. You know, blame it on Roach. But no, man. Yeah, he's. I just don't want him to get shot, or you know what I mean, or them just cops get the whooping on him and shit. He get by the time they take him to the station, he's dead, or you know what I mean, or he's beat so badly and shit, he's injured. That would suck, because cops are known to do that shit from time to time based on the heart of the police officer. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off of here. It was good hollering at you guys. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I gotta work tonight. Until then, stay tuned for the content that I have made today for tomorrow. So watch that. I am going to get more of a structured live, more like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I think that'll help so you guys will know that I'm live. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be better. So I'm going to start that next month. So I will be live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Okay. And that'll help so you'll know, like, hey, the live shows are at this particular time versus sporadically. So, but until then, guys, be blessed, be safe, and everyone has been Counterpunch. Peace.